Hey guys, welcome back to another Ranger Legacy video. This time we're talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2 High Five. Now, before we start talking about that episode, I want to talk about a Twitter slash Facebook handle that I might be getting if all goes as planned, which is Ranger Legacy Vlog. Now on Twitter, it's going to be Ranger Legacy, all one word, underscore vlog. On Facebook, it's just going to be Ranger Legacy Vlog. Now, to get into this episode, because I don't want another 18-minute video for 2 episodes in, because the movie episodes are probably going to be super long. First off, we have the return of racism in Trini doing Tai Chi, which just seems like stereotypical racism to me. But as we all know, Trini in real life, Tweed Trang, actually did Tai Chi. So there's that. Next is Zach is kind of a dick to Trini. When Jason's climbing the rope and she says, "Be careful, you'll fall," he snaps at her and yells, "Don't screw him up," which is kind of a dick to her. And at the end of the episode, kind of a dick to her again because he puts on a skull mask and pretends to be Bones just to get her to climb the rope. And speaking of getting her to climb the rope, we find out Trini's afraid of heights in this episode. And eventually, I'm going to cover two topics on my video. Yikes. She also eventually overcomes her fear of heights to help Billy during the putty fight later on in the episode. Now, it was good to see some character development with at least one of these characters so far, and Trini. We'll get eventually an episode that develops each character. But it was good to see some character development right now with Trini 2 episodes into the series. Moving on from that, we have Jason falls on Billy's shoulders, and the look on Billy's face when they're spinning around on the rope is hilarious and the epitome of overacting on David Yost's part. But it's good. I get enjoyment out of seeing that part of that episode. And then Bulk and Skull show up again, and Kimberly makes the comment, "Why don't you climb back to the ooze you crawled out of?" Which makes one wonder, knowing that Ivan Ooze was the villain in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. Was that a reference to the movie? Did they already have in their head they were going to make this movie, and they were like, you know what, let's slip Ooze in as a reference? Or maybe it's just, more fortuitous coincidence. They're real dicks to Bulk and Skull. Bulk and Skull are played up to be the bully for the entire series. But they're uber dicks to Bulk and Skull every episode, let's face it. And speaking of that, there's a joke made about Skull that's, if the rope fits, climb it, Zach says to Skull, or to Bulk, I'm sorry. And Skull laughs at it. Now, Bulk and Skull are supposed to be best friends in this series, and he laughed at a joke basically insulting Bulk's weight. What does that say for their actual relationship? And on that note, I've heard it mentioned on Ranger Danger. I think it might be true. They might have been trying to insinuate it, but being a 90s show, they could not say it. Are Bulk and Skull gay? Now, proven wrong several times, so Matt and Michael over at Ranger Danger and myself, we can eat crow, because several times Skull makes the comment that he has a thing for Kimberly, and it just debunks the whole Bulk and Skull are gay thing. Moving on from that, we get the first use of the word "more phenomenal" twice in this episode, actually. The first time is when Billy introduces the communicator. Kimberly says "more phenomenal," just for no reason. And then later on, Jason's fighting Bones in the Tyrannosaurus sword by himself. And Jason says, "How am I doing, Zach?" And Zach says, "more phenomenal." Now, clearly the word "more phenomenal" is morphing and phenomenal together. And they thought that they were going to make catchphrases by just fusing words with the word morph, as we found out and as I've already used. More fortuitous is eventually used. in the series. But moving on from that, the time device, well, before this, there's a Benny Hill style malfunction on Alpha's end when he's trying to fix the communicators. Literally, it's like a knockoff brand of the Benny Hill theme plays. And then there's a time device that's introduced in this episode by Squat and Babu. And it's basically a model rocket that they can drive through the streets. But everybody seems to be terrified by it, which says a lot about Angel Grove if they get scared by a model rocket. Trini overcomes her fear of heights to save Billy. We already talked about that when I said about Trini having the fear of heights. When they're fighting the putties, they form a human chain, which is Zach gets on Jason's shoulders and then lays straight back. So his body's literally like this. Like Jason's like this and Zach's like this. They form like a T. And then where Zach's legs would be, which is right here, Kimberly grabs his legs and then they just spin. Now, from the look on the kid that plays Jason's face, Austin St. John, it could be that he was actually spinning these two because we don't see any noticeable difference like you usually do with stunt people in the 90s especially. So it literally could have been Walter Jones and Amy Jo Johnson and Austin St. John just spinning around like that, which would be pretty cool if Austin St. John could have done that. It would have been like the Cesaro swing in professional wrestling. Bones, the villain, is the first genuinely terrifying kind of looking monster. At least it would be to a child of the 90s when they were watching this at the appropriate age for it. And I'm telling you right now, it still kind of scared me a little bit as an adult. The first time I saw it, I was kind of weirded out by the way he looked, which worries me because eventually we see Mutitis, in the two-parter Island of Illusion and Island of Illusion Part 2. And I don't remember Mutitis, and honestly, and I've seen the Island of Illusion episode when I've been watching it the first time. Because I remember the illusion of all the other monsters. And I remember there was later on, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, there was an episode where they were in a mansion, and there was a whole bunch of older monsters in it, and they fought them. I used to have dreams, vivid dreams, like I made up episodes of Power Rangers in my dreams that I would watch in dreams, which is weird. But it might have been one of those ones where I dreamed that was an episode and it really wasn't. You can correct me if it was. But anyway, when Squad and Babu light the bomb that's supposed to blow up the time device and trap them all, there's distinctly the Mission Impossible theme, and then like at the last second, they try to correct it and make it not the Mission Impossible theme, but it's still clearly the Mission Impossible theme. And then I have the Giant, which was the secondary monster, and that's the one, I'm sorry, it wasn't Bones, it was the Giant that Jason was fighting in the Tyrannosaurus Sword when Zach's more phenomenal. But the Giant was basically just a really big Spartan warrior guy that for some reason was a secondary monster. They could have probably done a whole episode with him as the primary monster instead of having Bones and the Giant in the same episode, which very clearly in the Sentai footage, Bones and the Giant were probably two separate episodes. And they just decided to make it one to fill time. And then that's really all I have for this video. So we're coming in almost 10 minutes shorter than the last video. But I also want to remind you the potential in this, and if I get it, if not, I'll put it in the comment, or I'll put it in the description that I didn't get it. This is going to be my Twitter and Facebook page. It's going to be Ranger Legacy Vlog. Twitter will be Ranger Legacy _vlog. Facebook will just be Ranger Legacy Vlog. And you'll recognize it because I'll be using the white power coin on Twitter as the picture. And a picture of the White Ranger on Facebook. And the Instagram is Mighty Morphin Teen Wolf. It's a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Teen Wolf fan Instagram. And the next video is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Episode 3, Teamwork. Now, as I said in the last video, if you've stuck with me through these first four, because this is only episode 2 of the show, but this is number 4 of the videos, you're not going anywhere now. At least I hope not. So, I'll see you next video. And I usually end the episode by saying, may the power protect you. But this week time, I'm going to end it by saying, have a more phenomenal week, and I'll see you later.